Accepting things as they are, not as you want them. Oh, this is where you get yourself stuck so much. So much. You are wishing a relationship different. You are wishing an outcome different. You are wishing that you did stuff in the past different, which is a whole other issue. Because what has happened is done and gone. You will never get that time back. That time is never coming back. You can wish you would have done different. You could have wish you said different. Wish that that person did something different. Acceptance that that time is dead and gone. It's never going to come back. I don't care how many times you play it in your head and how much you keep going. Why did I do this? Why didn't this happen? Why all of those things? I don't care how many times you do that. It's not going to change the outcome of what has happened. You learn from anything that you have done, said, or experienced. Take any lessons of what was in your control. Not why did my mom say this? Not why did my dad say this? Not why did they cheat on me? No. What did you learn about yourself? And not from a defensive mechanism. Not like, well, I learned not to trust nobody. That's not what I'm saying. You could look at somebody and be like, I like how my best friend and her mom get along. I wish I had that within my family. Well, you don't. So you can keep wishing it and you can keep trying to analyze it and go, why can't it be different? You're going to have to, this is radical acceptance, babe. You're going to have to accept that. And by the way, FYI, not every relationship that you see it from the external. You don't know what goes behind on closed doors, number one. So be careful how you think you see it, because sometimes you can't believe what you see because it's only you're interjecting what you feel that you don't have through somebody else's relationship. Can't do that. But if somebody is showing you who they are and you see the relationship, it's not going to be different. You can voice it. You can say, hey, these are my concerns. If another person isn't going to change, that's fine. You're going to have to accept that. And by the way, you don't want them to change for you. That is never a good reason to change for somebody. You never change for somebody and never expect someone to change for you, because then they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Right? Stop trying to make people change, and stop changing for other people. You are you. They are them. And it is so important that you get this in here. It's an acceptance. You can say you don't like it. You can say you don't love it. It's not going to change the fact. No one is losing sleep over it but you. I wish this relationship with my mom is different. Well, I wish for a lot of things. But wishing for it is not going to help you. It is going to create more mental suffering. And now that's you creating your own suffering behind it. I wish I had a better relationship. Well, you don't. You've tried. You've done your piece. Now you accept it. You don't even have to have a relationship with these people. And they don't have to have a relationship with you. If they deem you toxic and you deem them as toxic, you guys don't have to have a relationship with each other. It's not a rule that says you're related to this person, you must have this relationship. Stop. You don't have to. But you do have to protect your peace. It is up to you to do that and up to them to do that. Now, if you know that if you share something with somebody, they instantly turn it around and make it about them, maybe you don't share too much. We were just talking about oversharing in this last video. Stop with the oversharing. Appreciate it for what it is. If you know you and your sister have the best time shopping, but you can't really talk about anything in depth because it's always because of a problem, now we're fighting and we're blaming, but you really enjoy shopping, then accept it for what it is. Accept it for what it is. Enjoy it. Meet people where they are. If it's problematic, then you do have to distance. So now this is introspective week, right? Last video and the next one, very introspective about yourself. And you got to be honest with yourself. And you got to be honest with this piece. Are you wanting them to change because that's what you would do? Are you wanting them to show up a certain way because that's how you would do? Because now we go into expecting you out of people. Why are you struggling so hard to accept somebody for who they are without judgment? See, that's the other key, without judgment. Well, my mom's just not a mom. Okay, well, we're here. We're here now. Right? You keep trying to make a cup a box, and you're not going to make a cup a box. You're just not going to do it. And that's where you have to say, this is where the emotional maturity and working through some of these struggles are going to come into play. Is this a relationship that I can have and accept that person for who they are? Or every time I'm around them, is it going to make me sad? Is this going to stress me out? Then maybe you're going to have to make some very different and difficult decisions here. Not everybody has to do things the way you do. Not everybody has to show up for you the way that you think that they should show up for you. And that's why you have to be in acceptance of people who they are. Are you capable? Is it benefiting you for accepting a relationship with that person as it is? And you gotta, because you're going to keep getting your feelings hurt, right? Because then you're only going to see it from a certain way. And then that's when you go, I see potential. I see potential. You're falling in love with the potential, and now you're trying to change them to fit your narrative, but they could be perfectly happy the way they are, right? It's not all about you. It is for you. You need to be all about you to protect your peace. They don't have to be. So introspectively, you have to ask yourself, why is it that you're struggling so hard to accept somebody for who they are and not who you want them to be, not the situation, how it wants to be? And that's where you got to be careful of not job hopping, because now this is outside of a relationship. This job isn't what I want it to be. So I need to find a different job. Okay, fine. You go, okay, what is it? Fine. It's toxic environment. Cool. You go to this job. What are you expecting out of it? You're going to have to accept things for what they are. And where you're running into a brick wall is you're struggling in that acceptance piece. There's no magic cure here. There's no magic, well, how do I do that? You get clear. You do the 5 journals. There'll be the 5 journal series will be attached to this video. Is probably in one of these cards. You can go back and watch it. You need to journal where you're struggling. No one is going to come because you're having a bad day and all that stuff, and they're going to change because your feelings are hurt and all this stuff. No, it's not going to happen. These feelings are for you to process and accept someone who they are, accept the job for what it is, accept your life for where you are right now so you can continue to grow. If you can't accept where you are right now, good, bad, or indifferent, you will never be able to see the opportunity, because you're always going to be saying, this is what I don't have right now. This is what this is what, these are the things I need right now. I'm not getting them. You got to see it for how it is. You have to see your circumstances. I know it's hard. When I was staying in a van with my dad, it was really kind of hard to see, well, how is this benefiting me? Well, you're not always going to see it until you're out of it. But you got to appreciate it and accept yourself for where you are and accept people for where they are. If there's changes that can be made on your part, then you make them. But it has to be done on your part. Not what can this person do to change? Not what can I do to change that person, that situation? What can you do from your perspective that you can change, either in the relationship, in the situation? But you got to have gratitude in the moment. I know that's difficult because not every situation you're going to feel like you need to have gratitude for. Like ghosting, if somebody ghosts you, they're doing you such a big favor. It's hard for you to see that in it because you get in your headspace like, what did I do? And is it me? It's not all about you. They're doing you a solid favor because they're letting you know ahead of time that maybe they're not great with difficult conversations of, hey, we shouldn't be together, or, hey, I'm not ready for a serious relationship. They're doing you a favor. But if you only get stuck into the, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit of a victim. Why me? And they were love bombing me. And then all of a sudden they're gone. You need all of these answers. If you can't accept it for what it is and see them by them ghosting you, they're doing you a favor. They're letting you know ahead of time, hey, when difficult conversations come up, I'm not going to be able to communicate with you. They're doing you a solid favor. Solid favor. And you can't get so object focused on, I'm in love with this being this way. Oh, we had a great first 2 months of our dating life. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with them. Okay, well, have y'all talked about how you want to, if you're going to have kids at all? Do you know how you're going to parent? Do you know where you want to live? What are your goals and dreams? What are theirs? Do they align? Because you're falling in love with this big idea. But have you had the conversations? Have you told them about your anxiety? Have you listened to the fact that they're never going to stop fishing? They always fish, or they hunt, or whatever it is they do. Know that that's important to them, because you can't get into a relationship, have a baby, and then get mad that you're a hunting widow for 6 months out of the year and then get mad at them. Well, you should have had this conversation from the door. Don't fall in love with an idea. Have the conversations. Know what's important. Listen to them. Is it somewhat similar? It doesn't have to be the same, because then that's weird to just date somebody who's exactly like you. They don't have to change for you. So if somebody says, hey, hunting or golfing or whatever the case may be is important, I'm not giving that up. You got to say, okay, well, then when we have a baby, am I going to be willing to really kind of pull this down for the next 6 months every year because of hunting? Am I going to be able to do that? Don't say you can and then get mad at them, right? So remember, you fall in love with how it is, not the idea of how it should be. That's why you never hide who you are. Converse, listen. Don't try to change the narrative. Okay? So that's your homework.